Alright, so playing about with the Black Dragon here, and with the whole theme of old chips overheating, I decided to pop this thing open and leave it running for a while and see if anything was getting overly warm. So yeah, I found a couple of things. The main CPU and what I believe to be the clock generator chip both get extremely warm in this. The CPU gets really warm. It's not roasting hot. I put my hand on it, or the back of my finger. It was alarmingly warm. It didn't burn me, but I thought, fucking hell, that's warm. Yeah, so, and something that's 30 years old, really I don't want a chip or any components to be sitting at that temperature for too long, because it's only going to kill them. So what I did was I bought some cheap RAM heat sinks off eBay. As you can see, they're cheap Chinese jobs. These are aluminium. You can't get copper versions of these. So just a little copper heatsink with a sticky thermal pad on the back. So I bought a couple of packs of them, and if I pop the lid off this, you can see that I've added heat sinks to the main CPU here. It's 6809, and this chip here, which is the clock generator. We'll put up the model number here. Can't remember it off the top of my head. It's quite long. But the majority of the heat inside this thing comes from this large heatsink. This is the power supply board here. So this gets roasting hot. Again, it wouldn't burn you, but you put your hand on it, the back of your fingers on it like that, and you think, fucking hell, you could nearly fry an egg on it. So I added a couple of small heat sinks to it as well, because it's a pack of 8. So I had 3 on this chip and 3 on this chip. There was 2 left over, so I just stuck them on there. I thought it can't do any harm. Help to pull a bit more heat away from this. So yeah, that's really the only 2 chips that were getting any way warm. The CPU gets very warm. The clock chip is slightly cooler, but still very warm. And the rest of the chips feeling around them, again with the back of my finger. Nothing really seems to get very warm at all. So I stuck some additional heat sinks on there just to try and prolong the life of these machines. This is 30 years old. Although it's lasted this long without heat sinks, it can't do any harm to add them. So I'll not go as far as putting an internal fan into this. I don't think it needs it. If anything, the heatsink at the back would need a fan on it, just to draw the heat away from it, because that's the warmest part. When the Dragon has been on for 10 or 15 minutes, if you put your hand underneath the Dragon and feel the plastic at the bottom of it's actually quite warm. So that is spreading heat throughout that whole board there, and it's probably pushing heat down into the main motherboard here as well, which is along the RAM chips there. So yeah, if anything, that needs a fan on it, but I don't think I'm going to go to that extreme. It really doesn't need it. So that's it. Just a quick look at adding some more heat solutions to these old machines. These little heat sinks were, I think it was around about a £5 for a pack of 8. So I bought a couple of packs of them, and decided that the Dragon could do with a couple. I'm actually going to do the same with my other Dragon, the one that's in good condition. It's in its box, its original box, but I'm going to get it out, I'm going to pop it open, and I'm going to put heat sinks on the same two chips, and probably on the power supply as well, just because I will use that machine again at some stage, so it can't do any harm to add them. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear you guys' opinions on this. Do you think that it's overkill putting heat sinks on these chips, or do you think it's a good idea? I know a lot of people in the old computer scene do this, especially when they're using their machines regularly, and I do like to use my machines. The likes of the ZX Spectrum, I know a lot of people put the heat sinks on the main processor and the ULA chip because they're quite prone to burning out because of overheating. Yeah, and if you could feel the temperature of these chips when they were running, you would know where it was coming from. So yeah, leave a comment below, let me know your opinion, get a discussion going on this. Alright guys, that's it, just a quick one. Thanks for watching, bye for now.